So let's get started. We've been working on linear regression, and part of linear regression has been finding the slope, and the slope is given to us from the calculator, and finding the y-intercept. And we've touched on the base of what the real world meaning of the slope is, what the real world meaning of the y-intercept is. This is just going to go over it in just a little more detail. So here's a couple examples. You can print off the PDF. If you haven't done that already and you need to, go ahead and pause and do that. Let's go on. So here we go. First example. Cheese pizza costs $9. I also know that a 5-topping pizza costs $12.75. First thing, step number one, I need to find the slope. Remember, our slope we call m is the change in y over the change in x. So that another formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All of these formulas are doing the same thing. I'm finding how much I go up and then how much I go over. And I'm making a ratio of that so that I can move that ratio and find different points on my line. So let's find my slope. My slope, if I look at my y's, my y2 is 12.75 minus 9, my y1, over 5, my x2, minus my x1, 0. So if I take 12.75, I subtract 9, I'm going to get 3.75, $3.75 for 5 toppings. I divide that out and I get 0.75. That tells me my slope, 0.75. So if I'm going to write my equation, I have y equals mx plus b. Y is equal to 0.75x plus b. Now remember our b. Our b is our y-intercept, where I cross the y-axis. My y-intercept is when x is 0, right here at this point. X is 0 for this particular problem when y is 9. So my y-intercept, my b, is 9. So my equation is y is equal to 0.75x plus 9. I have found my y-intercept. I have found, excuse me, go back and restate that correctly. I hit the wrong button. Don't you love it when you hit the wrong button? My y-intercept is 9. My slope is 0.75. So what does this mean? Well, remember what I was talking about over here? This was dollars and this was toppings. So when I divided, this was $3.75 for 5 toppings. And so when I divided that out, I got 75 cents per one topping. Just kind of like my conversions that I was doing earlier. So the real world meaning of slope is it costs 75 cents to add one topping to the pizza. Okay. Well, what is my b? My y-intercept we said was 9. Well, what does that mean? That means, well, it's stated up at the top. A cheese pizza costs $9. A pizza with 0 toppings is $9. A cheese pizza costs $9. So I found my slope, 75 cents. I found which tells me it costs 75 cents to add one topping to the pizza for each topping added to the pizza. I found my y-intercept, which was given to me, which was 9, and it tells me that a cheese pizza costs $9. That's my first example. Let's try another one. What is this meaning? What is this telling me? After 30 minutes of exercise, 275 calories have been burned. So That tells me after 30 seconds, notice this is minutes exercising, so after 30 minutes, I've burned, my calories burned are 275. So that's this coordinate right here on my graph. I need another point. I need another coordinate that I can work on. Well, you always need to ask yourself, what happens if I worked 0 minutes? Well, 0 minutes is 0 calories. So I have the origin 0, 0 as one of my coordinates, as one of my points. So I need to find my slope. My slope is change in y over change in x, which is 275 minus 0 over 30 minus 0. Well, this is 275 divided by 30, which reduces to, if I just reduce, 55 over 6. And if I divide that out, I get 9.16 repeating. So that's my slope. So if I start to write my equation over here, I have y is equal to mx plus b. Y is equal to 9.1. I could say 6, but if I'm going to go to 2 decimal places, let's round. So that's 1.97 x plus b. Okay. What is my b? My b is where I cross the y-axis. When I work 0 minutes, I burn 0 calories. So my b is 0, so y equals 9.17x plus 0, or my equation is y equals 9.17x. I found my slope. I found my y-intercept. I have my equation. What are my meanings? Well, let's go back to this over here where we talked about this was 275 calories minus 0 calories. So this was calories on top, and I divided by minutes. So this is 9.16, 9.17 calories burnt per minute. My N-U-T-E. So my real world meaning of the slope is that we burn 9.17 calories per minute while exercising. That's the real world meaning of my slope. Now I need the real world meaning of my y-intercept. Again, we said that my y-intercept was 0. How do I get that? Well, that's y when x is 0. Well, x is minutes. So when I have exercised 0 minutes, that's my 0 for my y-intercept, I have burned 0 calories. That's the y-intercept 0 right here. So that's the real world meaning of my y-intercept. I found my slope, I found my y-intercept, I found the real world meanings. Let's try the third example. I know I'm talking very monotonal. I'll talk better, not poorer. The cost of a wireless phone plan, $20 per month plus 5 cents per minute. $20 per month plus 5 cents per minute. Again, I need to find what's y equals mx plus b. I know that 45 minutes is going to cost me $22.25. I know that my y-intercept is for 0 minutes, it's going to cost me $20. Those are my 2 points. So I need to find my slope, change in y over change in x. So I say $22.25 minus $20 divided by 45 minutes minus 0 minutes. Well, 22.25 minus 20 is $2.25. 45 minus 0 is 45 minutes. When I divide this out, I get $0.05 per minute. So $0.05 per minute, that's 5 cents per minute. Hey, I already had that. I was actually given my slope to be 5 cents per minute. That's what I'm finding here. How much it changes per unit of x. How much y changes per unit of x. That was given to me. Oh, wow. At the same time, I now realize, and I did know this, but wanted to see if you would realize, my b is my starting point. Well, that's when x is 0. I know that x is 0 when x is 0, 0 minutes, I have a $20 monthly fee. So my b is the coordinate 0, 20, or just 20. So my equation turns out to be y equals 0.05, 5 cents per minute, x plus $20 monthly fee. There's my equation. It was given to me. Yes, did I know that? Of course. But I wanted you to see if I needed to do it another way, how I would find it. What's the real meaning of slope? Well, 5 cents per minute means I am charged 5 cents for each minute I speak on the phone. That's a real world meaning. That's what 5 cents per minute means. Okay, what's my y-intercept? My y-intercept we said was 20, so that means that there is a monthly, what did they call it? Fee of $20. That has nothing to do with the number of minutes, which is what my x is, number of minutes. But that is added to my cost, so that's my initial amount. There is a monthly fee of $20. So that's my third example. What's my time so far? 13 minutes. We'll be below 20 easily today. So the depth of water at Dillon Reservoir is given by the equation 12x plus 3y equals 480, where x is the number of weeks of summer, y is the depth of the reservoir. So here's my picture. I know at 0 weeks, I have 160. 160 is the depth of water. It's 160 feet. Thank you, 160 feet. Where I have an equation, can I solve it for y? Sure. I'm going to subtract 12x. So 3y is equal to, I'm going to keep it, I'm going to put it in slope-intercept form since that's what I've been talking about. Negative 12x plus 480. If I want to write it, however, as a starting amount minus something I've taken away, that also works. I'm going to divide by 3 to get y by itself. So I get y is equal to negative 4x plus 3 goes into 4 once, 3 goes into 18 6 times, 3 goes into 0, 0. Look at what this tells me. This says my starting amount, my B, is 160. I was given that. This also says that I have -4 is my rate, my slope. Well, what is that? Remember, this my slope is change in y over change in x. So what it's telling me is that I'm losing 4 feet of water for every week of the summer. So that's my information that I need to tell my slope and my um, real world meaning of my slope, real world meaning of my y-intercept. So I lose, I guess I don't lose, the reservoir loses 4 feet of water each week. That's the real world meaning of my y-intercept, of my slope. My y-intercept, the depth of water at the beginning of summer. There's probably a spelling mistake in there somewhere. Was 160 feet. Those are all our notes. Less than 17 minutes. Have a great day.